What's going on? Did you turn off your camera? Hello?
Hello?
Michael Alle here.
Vasilian from Madlands here.
This is Gate from Copenhagen.
Hey, it's Kerrigan.
Jacob here from 100 Thieves.
Device from Copenhagen.
Down here from Heroic.
Nitro from Louisiana.
Hey, Gratisfaction here.
Hey, it's Shus from Silkeborg.
Please tune in and cheer for us.
We're gonna show you how good we are in this tournament. You can believe us.
Stay home and watch some Counter-Strike.
And I hope you guys all enjoy watching DreamHack Masters.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Now you're disconnected again.
Well, you can disconnect every day. You can unplug every Ethernet cable in your house, but there's no way on earth that you're going to be missing any of the action here at the DreamHack Masters Spring, just like ZywOo not missing a singular shot over there on that A's bomb site of Dust 2. The DreamHack Masters Spring 2020 carries on today. We have some new faces, some fresh blood entering the scene, entering the server, and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and get this party started off in the right way. We've got 3 best of 3s coming your way on the stream today. And, well, I don't know that there's much more else to say about it. So let's get it on. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for us to get things underway here. And of course, by everybody, I'm talking about you, the audience, as well as you two here inside of the call with me. We do have Bled, we do have Potter, and we are ready to get this party started. Are we not? Are you not entertained?
I am. Are you gonna beat me?
I am now.
I don't know. You look intimidating, man, Trace. Jeez.
That's good. All is good. All is good. Das ist so good. As we move forward here within the groups, we're going to get the opportunity to witness some things that have never before seen before today. Can you guys kind of get at what I'm alluding to? Can you just spoil it for everybody?
Counter-Strike.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Trace, you mentioned yesterday that ZywOo, he wasn't missing any shots, and you're right. And so we thought they were going to win that series, but Na'Vi, they end up clawing their way back and actually closing out that series in a 2-1 fashion. So it was actually quite an exciting and close series yesterday between Na'Vi and Vitality.
It really was.
Yeah, sorry, Trace. Go on.
No, you go ahead, man. Yeah, I want you to talk.
All right. One thing I liked a lot about Na'Vi was them waking up, right? And then once they got that ball rolling, it would just look unstoppable. For Vitality, great performance initially. I personally felt they had the game in the bag, and then I said it yesterday, they stopped playing to win, they start playing not to lose, and that's allowing a team like Na'Vi into the game. Electronic, what a showing from the guy, and then of course the rest of the team really stepping it up. Boomich as well had his moments, everyone had their moments, and this is the Na'Vi I've been waiting for close to like a month and a half now. Good to see them finally back to playing some good Counter-Strike.
Well, even for the side of Na'Vi, we had Boomich join us after the game, and he said, you know, it's not like playing ZywOo is playing my mortal enemy. In fact, we're friends. Outside of the server, we've been friends for a while. We used to grind through the ranks together to try to get to the point that we're at now. And I think that's a kind of a cool culmination to the story. Like, the plot lines intersect right there within the server. And obviously for Na'Vi, well, what can I say? You got to thank your lucky stars for yesterday.
Yeah, you have to thank your lucky stars. At the same time, I got to give them credit. The fact that they were able to grind back into the game, that shows a lot of tenacity. That's reminiscent of the old Na'Vi. They could have easily given that one up and be like, all right, this one's out, this one's done, and this one's gone. But they were able to exploit the fact that Vitality, that A defense was struggling a little bit. And finally going to map number 3, it was Na'Vi all the way, completely steamrolling Vitality. And looking at today's matchups, I am looking to see which Na'Vi are we going to see. The same Na'Vi you saw in the second half of the best of 3 series, or the old Na'Vi who have been struggling miserably online so far.
Well, the reality is this. It's not even just that Na'Vi and ZywOo and that whole thing happened. There was so much more Counter-Strike, Christine, a game that we thought was a surefire thing in the side of Fnatic's ways, considering Bemis is a stand-in for FaZe. We actually had that matchup as well, and it turned out to be quite the banger all the way down to the very end. Let's talk a little bit about what Fnatic FaZe was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, FaZe, they've been looking good, even with that new member, as you mentioned, Trace. And really, I mean, it's the Nico Cold Zero show, right? And it's been that all year long. They've been the consistent factor, but Nico, he's also been just their X factor, their superstar factor, their everything factor. And he showed that exactly yesterday. On the Fnatic side of things, I mean, we've been talking about exactly how much firepower they've had individually, but their game plan, it doesn't seem to be connecting at the end of the day together, because Crims, he had, again, one of those games where he's got like 150 ADR 10 rounds in, but they still somehow ended up losing this one.
And the interesting thing to me is, though, it's not that Crims is new to the game. He knows what's going on. I think Crims is also even having to sort of foster in a new era, if you will, and they're seeing a little bit of that over on the Swedish side right now.
Yeah, they are. And that's the thing with Fnatic. It's about the individuals, right? It's one team where it's about individuals, somehow meshing together, the hive mind, the Swedish hive mind, I like to call it personally. And when it doesn't click individually, it becomes a problem. Dust 2, I felt like they had it in the bag. And then a few little mistakes being made here and there. Then, of course, an incredible performance from FaZe to close that one out. The worrying thing for me is the Overpass, a map that I think everyone expected Fnatic to have in the bag. It's a map that FaZe have historically struggled on. It's a map that Fnatic are extremely good on, and they lost that even more convincingly, if you ask me. It was, even though it was a close scoreline, I feel like FaZe were more in control on Overpass and Fnatic were, and that is a very worrying sign indeed. And right now, they have the one win. They have to wait for the final result, Spirit versus Godsend, to know if they go through to the playoffs or not. And I'll be real, if I'm Fnatic, I wouldn't be expecting to be put in that position where your result is dependent on someone else. That shouldn't be the case. It should be topping the group, and it's kind of disappointing for me. Yeah, you would think so.
And moreover than that, I want to talk about ushering in the new talent a little bit more. Obviously, Sweden has kind of come to that conclusion itself, that, hey, you know what, we need to mix it up. We need to find something that was in the shadow of the legends of 87-0 and whatever Fnatic has accomplished outside of that as well. Like, now they're rebuilding. They're not even the only scene that's doing just that. In fact, we get to hear a little bit about the Finnish esports organization, INTS, from Finland. Believe it or not, they're from Finland. INTS esports, bringing in Jumpy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like younger Finnish teams, like lower tier teams that where young people go, but I think the biggest problem is that they don't get picked, or there's not like, the Finnish scene is still pretty small, so I think that's the biggest problem, that maybe teams are afraid to pick young players, because let's say last 3 years there have been only, I think, 4 or 3 young players that have been picked up from out of nowhere. So I think that's the biggest problem, that like people should more try to pick those young players and just trust the process that they're gonna be good, like in 1 year or something like that.
Down. Hoodie and Zori are all that remains of Havu. Esperanto has been put down with authority though, and again, no surprises here. It's a bomb plant on A, and Crazy with the advantage in the retake. 2 ops though on the retake could be a little bit rocky. Hoodie though, playing the off angle for perfection.
When Ens gave me the call, I was pretty hyped, because I have been like on bench for 5 months and I didn't play that much officials or anything, so I missed the competition, because I like to compete and I like to win, and obviously that's the thing we do in this sport. So obviously I was like really hyped about this, to get to compete again on the highest level, and it's been like a dream come true after that.
Jumpy, or as they would like to call him, Yampy. Did I get it right?
Yampy.
Yampy. Either way, Yampy has had quite the tenured career, and he's barely played any matches. Let's talk about this young man and where he finds himself right now, Christine.
I mean, he's got to be on a high right now, getting picked up even though you've got a VAC ban, even though you're not allowed to attend Valve sponsored majors, it's got to be a good feeling, even though it's in the worst situation that he can find himself in. So I think he's got the best of the worst situation going on right now for himself, and he's got to be able to capitalize on it. And if there's any player in the world that can, I think it's Yumpy. He seems to have good head on his shoulders. I actually watched him performing at DreamHack Rotterdam last year with his team, and he's got that flair, man. He's got that confidence within that game, and he's got that 16-year-old aim to back him up as well. So he's a deadly player in that server.
Which is something we're going to have to watch out for as we do get our first taste of ints within the server itself. Let's take a look at today's matches. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on around the server, or better yet, in the server, as we look at all the teams involved. Na'Vi, NiP, ints, Vitality. That's the current group we're in, Group D. Now, as you can tell, things have started to shape up all the way around the board. Anything really sticking out here to you, Blett?
Well, I mean, if you look at just looking at it overall, right, the number of teams who have a new player coming in, it's ridiculous. I think more than half the team have either a stand-in or a new player coming in. And that's the same case with group number D. Apart from Na'Vi, you have a NiP picking up Hampus, which is, I think, caught a lot of players by surprise. You replaced Lekra, who was the second best player in the road to Rio. We have ends coming in with Yumpy, who are right now actually unbeaten map-wise and match-wise with this young player in the lineup. And then we have Vitality with Mr. Ta, who has been there for a while right now, but still a very, very young player. So I think, yeah, it's this entire event, it feels like testing grounds, proving grounds of some of these young players coming into some of these very, very well-known names.
And this is going to be the first time that we get to see NiP play within the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. And you got to wonder what they're going to bring to the table. And it's not just a Mohawk, Christine.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, it's Nock, and it's Hampus, right? I mean, Hampus, he actually was the old teammate of Nock. They used to play on Gamer Legion together, and Twist as well. He's very familiar with Nock. So it seems like the old band is kind of getting back together, the old band being the youngsters on this NIP lineup. So it's an exciting time, I think. And also, I mean, Bled kind of mentioned it a couple days ago, Threat coming back into the NIP organization, kind of taking over everything and making sure that his game plan is what all these players stick to. I think it's a very exciting time for this organization as a whole.
So wait, Christine, are you saying that if this band is getting back together, what would you call Dignitas getting back together?
That's those are just memories, man. Those are the old boomers getting back together.
The boomers getting back together. Well, Christine now has crossed the bridge of unreturnable links. No, I'm kidding. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the North American side, because we're not alone here. We do have a big pond across this big planet of ours with all the water in between. We look at 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Gen G, and Evil Geniuses over there in Group B. And for this side of North America, you would expect teams like Liquid to be at the top. You would expect a namesake like MIBR to at least be coming in at second. And for the Evil Geniuses, my God, it's been just a disaster of a roller coaster ride for them.
It has indeed, right? I mean, the 100 Thieves, they're looking very good, mind you, with the recent addition of Chet. And that's been like, what, just a couple of days, just a few days? And they're looking so smooth indeed. Cloud9, of course, right now unbeaten as well. And Gen G's win yesterday over EG, that was a big surprise for me, if you ask me, especially on that vertical map. It was like 4 a.m. in the morning, and Daps is out 4 a.m. in the morning for me. And it's like Daps out fragging everyone. I'm like, listen, screw sleep, I need to see this. And Daps is destroying them in the server. And it's really cool to see how this Gen G, they bounced back. I think Lawrence touched upon it yesterday, where he was mentioning how they had a great start in DreamHack Anaheim, and then it kind of fell off during the Flashpoint season, and then boom, they bounced back on the road to Rio. And it's good to see how they're continuing that form going to the DreamHack Spring Masters here.
Yes, Boomer. There it is, right, Christine?
Sure. Sure thing. And as you saw in that Group D, the picture there, EG, they find themselves 0-2 already in their group. And I mean, this is kind of the same situation that Liquid found themselves in just a few days ago. So certainly they still have a chance of making it out, but now things just get harder and harder for this EG lineup, and getting those wins is already hard enough for them right now, as it seems. So they find themselves in a new scenario, because these are top dogs, the top dogs of North America. So I'm interested to see how they react and what their answers are to this predicament.
Yeah, and it's weird enough when you look at this Evil Geniuses lineup, they have a lot of structure behind them. We know that there was a coaching change. We know that even have Valen standing behind them at some point and in some fashion. Like, there's a lot of depth to what the Evil Geniuses are, and for the successes that they found, well, I guess it's just been a while, okay? That's all I'm going to say. It's been a while, and we want to see what you got, Torok and crew. Anyway, I want to go ahead and see what our sponsors have cooked up for us, because they're the ones that make this all very possible. In fact, it's going to be Corsair, Monster Energy, DTS, Intel, AT&T, Betway, Lily, and not so much Sarah this time around. So either way, those are the people that make this very much possible. Go ahead and give them a shout out if you would like to, and say thank you, because I certainly would, as I'm sure Blett and Christine would as well. What we're going to do, though, is get ready for our first game of the day. Right after this break, I'm going to deliver to you one best of 3 to rule them all. We will be right back after this.